Assalamu alaikum, guys. A little bit out of breath. It's getting hot out. Workouts are getting a little bit harder, but I'm still here, still grinding, still trying to get it done. But today I wanted to make a short video about, and honestly, it's a reflection on another video that I saw. And it was this rich guy on the Joe Rogan podcast. And he was talking about, some of the ways that, that granted him the wealth that he had. And he talked about putting a value on his time. He said that he valued his time about $500 and he increased that over time to about $5,000. And, the way that translated into his practical life was that anything that wasn't worth his time, wasn't worth about $500 to $5,000, he just wouldn't do. So if that means, returning an item that you bought on Amazon and waiting in that line, he knew that an hour of his time is worth $500 to $5,000. So is that item itself worth $500 to $5,000? Probably not. So he'd either give that item away or throw it out, or whatever the case may be. That got me reflecting. As Muslims, we're told to value time. We know how valuable time is to us. So it made me ask myself that question. How much is an hour of my time worth, right? And, at first I tried to put a monetary value on it, 500, 5,000, just like this wealthy guy on this podcast was doing. But, it was so hard for me to kind of come up with a number. And I realized, my time is actually more valuable than anything monetarily, that you could quantify with a monetary value. My time is what leads me to Jannah or Jahannam, the way that I use my time. So an hour of my time is literally, it's priceless. And using the same methodology, I asked myself, the things that I decide to do in whatever time that I have, are they worth my akhirah? If I'm the one standing in that line waiting to return an item from Amazon and I'm missing salah at the masjid, is me returning that item, is it worth me missing salah at the masjid? Is it worth my akhirah? Again, that's a small example, right? But just amplify that and look at that in every situation. It's a great way to actually reevaluate your intentions, actually. For me, is it worth it for me to spend an hour in the gym working out when I could be spending that time elsewhere, right? And the answer is that if I set my intention that I'm getting strong for the sake of Allah, I'm working hard, to please Allah, to be a strong believer, then it's not a waste of my time. Versus if I was just doing it for vanity's sake, or if I was just doing it for some other vain purpose, then maybe that hour of my time is not worth it. So really, you have to start evaluating your intentions with everything you do. Even hanging out with your family, spending time with family. In that video, that millionaire, he said, make an exception with family and friends. I don't make that exception. Even when I'm hanging out with family, I have that intention that this hour or however much time I'm spending with my family, it's for, building relations. It's for being a good husband, a good father, for the sake of Allah, right? That's what it's for. So that makes that hour of time, again, it's going to be enjoyable because I'm spending time with my family. And on top of that, I'm getting rewards for it. It's worth my time. It's worth my akhirah. So that's just something I've been reflecting on, especially during the month of Ramadan, where our time is so precious. A minute of your time could be spent, browsing your phone, and that same minute could be spent reading Quran. And that's kind of the way how I've been evaluating it now, And I stop myself sometimes. I'll be scrolling on my phone and I'll be like, man, this time, this however many minutes I just spent scrolling, this is worth my akhirah. I just wasted 15 minutes of my akhirah, of time that I could be spent building my akhirah. And that's huge. That's really big. So, keep that in the back of your mind the next time you're doing something. And, again, like your day-to-day life activities can also be ibadah. They can also be worth your akhirah. They can also be building your akhirah, right? So even going to work, providing for your family for the sake of Allah, that's ibadah. That's something that's building your akhirah. That doesn't mean reading Quran all the time. Doesn't mean praying in nafil and extra salah all the time. No, it means that the things that you normally do, start to check your intention and start to make them worth your time. That's what it comes down to. Again, a short little reflection and something that really impacted me, and inshallah, I hope it has a similar impact on you guys. So, assalamu alaikum, and I'll see you guys in the next video.